Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 12 rounds, and the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, with Frank Warren, in association with Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated and Sanford STC, Dr. Suleiman El Habib, Medical Group, Sarge Guy Williamson, Supervisor Dennis Gilmartin, Kieran McCann of England, and Ron McNair of the United in with blue and gold, and weighed in officially at 160, an undefeated record with 26 wins. Number 7 by Ring Magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, Surace. Fighting tonight out of the red corner, he comes to the ring as his opponent, 167.7 pounds. 35 of his 44 wins coming by way the former WBO super welterweight Baja California, Mexico.
Okay. That's the height. Okay. Punch is there. Down the fighter standing. We'll go to the furthest neutral corner and stay there.
Surace, Munguia, as we mentioned, still a -700 super middleweights going at it. Can Bruno Surace?
That Surace is naturally the bigger man. He had a wider torso.
He got knocked out in that last fight, but their work was working. He pushed Surace up against the ropes repeatedly, so
you can see Surace went for that home run right hand right off the bat, but he needs to catch him off guard over the top.
Sergio, I'm interested to see what fight with Eddie Reynoso.
I think we're seeing one early in an exaggerated fashion to guard against that right hand.
That's one of them. He's going to make that ring smaller and smaller and cut off the Frenchman anytime.
So we start to see the same Jaime Munguia that just goes to war.
Habits away, they always come back and haunt him.
Could be extremely dangerous. Of course, he knows he can knock Munguia out. Someone who twice has had university exams, the belief in Bruno Surace now.
No question. He was brought in as...
I say it all the time, and Mannix doesn't believe me, but I tell him that they go into the gym before they go to school, but Surace is an exception. Relax, Mr. Boston College. Closing the gap with the jab, especially when you have a mover moving around the ring laterally.
For Surace.
Ese fue el primero, ¿eh? ¿Cómo te sentiste? Tranquilito, ahorita vas a entrar en la... Au fur et à mesure des rounds. Il faut pas en faire plus, c'est parfait, Bruno. Ok? Prends ton temps, reste comme ça va marcher. Ok? Encore plus, ok? Gère tes efforts, c'est parfait. Ça va céder, ça va s'écrouler devant toi.
Lève le tabouret, là.
Allez, Bruno, c'est parfait.
I'm good. I apologize, my 12th grade French did not... As you heard the Munguia corner say, you gave up that round. And now in the Reynoso camp, that's kind of a Canelo-esque thing to do.
That's what Canelo Alvarez has become known for. You should have a pretty clear idea of how Bruno Surace is going to try to get, but he loads up on that right hand.
Maybe it owes to that oscillating between kickboxing and boxing.
Left, he crosses his right foot. That's a big no-no. You need to, your lead foot across his body, that's a big no-no. You're off balance and can get attacked.
He's doing a pretty good job of protecting that midsection. One punch that works for Jaime Munguia.
Yeah, and I think if he's going to take advantage of Surace moving his right...
Big attempt at left hook there from Munguia. More susceptible to body shots, as we mentioned.
There's that right hook.
Nice right. Interview after beating Munguia, he said, I'm not sure that I belong here. I might be going back to one.
When I sized him up, we're about the same frame, but looking at him now without a shirt, kind of like Carlos Baldomir, you know, they had all of that wide torso.
Surace taking away that right.
Yeah, Munguia very
Listo en tu pelea.
That's what
en tu pelea es todo lo que tenemos que hacer. Sin desesperarte, güey. No bajes la mano, güey. Güey, no te me salgas así, Pega tu combinación y de volada aquí arriba. Pintas pasito atrás. Aquí nomás, te estás bloqueando muy bien.
Instructions there being given by Eddie Reynoso. A lot of great instructions. Basically, feint and then feint and attack. So you can just switch up your attack coming in.
Good left hand to the body there from Munguia. Surace felt it was...
Keep digging into your rib.
Yeah, and I would say Surace's trunks
are very high.
This is the most I've seen Munguia, because that's what Reynoso wants in the corner. Feint that front foot, get him to bite.
Ringside. Hoping that father-son can get back in. Munguia staying consistent with that heavy jab. And one thing now, you're seeing some touches of that Reynoso and Canelo style.
You know, as soon as he landed one shot, he would go after it right back to his face.
Well, Chris, that's so physically overwhelming. But as he's gone up in weight, he's
the kind of fighter that offense is his best, defense, physical fight. Canelo Alvarez, 12 rounds against one of the best.
Both these fighters really thinking. This is the first front foot just punching at anything and everything, but counter with that overhand hook around the guard. That's going to be his money punch.
Surace looking for that right hand, trying to wrap it around the guard.
Tu mets ton bras arrière et cette cadence ici. À chaque fois, tu mets ton crochet. Maman, il a eu cette consigne-là. Fais attention, ok? Plaît, tu t'abrasses, ok? C'est toi le champion. Reste vigilant. Garde la même stratégie. Levez la chaise.
Way, Bruno Surace looking very calm in the corner, and with that,
they have made no adjustments. There was no concern on the floor.
And this is why we have the best French speaker of the four of us. Surace has talked about how even though his life has changed in many ways because gym that he's always trained in next to kids, moms bringing their lifestyle that Surace is living back home in France.
Into the second half of the fight. That's why he's so calm and patient right now. So once he gets past that 8th round, he's going to be in unfamiliar territory, even though
the judicious punching that we're seeing from Munguia. The first fight, whenever he had Surace, he's not doing that quite as frequently in this fight.
Or the compulsion that he has to knock Surace out. In the last fight, you know what the deal is in a fight like that. It went the other way.
And there's too many fans and family that want front row seats. It's a distraction. See, Surace is sneaky, explosive, man. That's a very agility and foot balance. He's no pushover. He may have been an unknown, but this guy can fight.
Well, here's a man looking to pull off, wrapped up and ready for his date with Canelo Alvarez tonight.
And weigh-in on Friday.
He looked jittery at the press conference. He knows that Canelo is the star of the show, so I think it serves him right to be your best bet.
Round 5.
Very competitive start to this contest between Jaime Munguia and
Munguia to maintain his distance and be very careful with that overhand right.
You know, it's really wild how things can change for a guy like Bruno Surace. He'll be toiling in obscurity in France, if not getting a fairly
opportunity. And like I said in the end of the last round, Surace 26 wins. But he's more than that. This
overlook. Undefeated record, but 4 knockouts coming into that Munguia fight. Very low. So he really was a complete unknown.
A combination puncher. Someone that will hit you anywhere that you give him. He's
by Munguia, but you can hear just the weight of that shot from Surace despite it.
I think Munguia will serve him best to stop over this. Keep those shoulders and those arms.
He talked about the lingering effects of a knockout, particularly when it came to some of the effects of the knockout here with Jaime Munguia. Much more.
And now a right hand as well.
That's what happens when you finally betrays you. You finally get knocked out. You're war-torn.
Seems like Munguia getting a little bit of confidence in his offense.
Bien, así. Te quiero nomás. Está corriendo, agarras tu distancia, le tiras dos.
You gotta get the distance. Don't get hit with that uppercut.
Okay. Pinta cuando entre. Ya le tiraste acá y acá.
Look, you threw.
Weight title is on the line Saturday, June 14th, when DAZN and part of your unrivaled subscription. In Riyadh, as Jaime Munguia looking to avenge his who seemed a little less tentative with his offense, and now looking the same.
In the corner, you need to aim at the biceps and the arms of Surace. You keep digging, looking for it.
All right, Chris Mannix, let's take a look at your scorecard.
Yeah, I've got a 48-47 favor win for Jaime Munguia. Got his momentum going. Got on my scorecard, but Jaime Munguia closing the gap.
That overhand right, I'd rather Munguia throw it to the body instead of the. You can start your combinations and onslaught. But if you throw
fight against Surace, that is something that Surace will do. He'll lean. Munguia only got caught in that fight when he pulled back with his hands down.
Once you land that first punch, you got to stay in there. You got to keep your chin tucked, able to unleash his offense.
Yeah, that knockout was recognized it, loaded up, and landed a straight right.
Munguia now stabbing that jab to the midsection of the Frenchman.
Just like David Benavidez was doing against Morel. If the referee allows it, because Surace is very strong. He's very
popular ever since the days of Triple G. You see a lot of Uzbek fighters using that.
He would do it with Corte, I remember.
By with a special guest.
We are here with Amir Khan. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so basically on June 13th, I'm going to be doing I was an ex-fighter myself. I know exactly what a promoter needs to do to the young. I'm looking forward to Ghana. It's going to be an amazing event. We go to it.
So today for me, tomorrow from every round.
Thank you so much, Claudia. And a man that Jaime Munguia could extract a little bit of motivation from, a man who... Round 7 now under... He is having to think whether he's up on the cards or marginally down. He has proven that he belongs.
A little bit of a rear uppercut. Munguia's camp has obviously been keen on... I think Bruno Surace got to mix some of these punches up. He's going to have a chance to land. Yeah, and he just tapped him with a left, too, right before throwing that right.
Magazine's upset of the year since Rene Jaco upset Donald Curry back in Rene Jaco, or like a Willie Wise who upset Chavez Sr. and go on to a fantastic career.
Donald Curry used to be one.
One thing is certain, this is a totally different tenor.
Has to do with the fact that he got knocked out in his last fight, but I do think respect to his previous trainers, but whether it was Eric Morales or Freddie Roach, he kind of thought he's not putting himself in harm's way quite as often. A different type of fight.
Yeah, but that actually makes you mentally strong. You learn just by watching as well.
In on the final 10 seconds here of round 7. Yeah, lands a couple more body shots and puts a couple more.
This is how you got to end close. Shoe shine, but by opening up, you're gonna open up yourself to
bonus 10 seconds.
Flooded by fans as always, and there's Terrence Crawford. Surace launching that right hand. 8th round, a little bit of a different cadence from Munguia as he reaches the body of Surace.
Nice jab. See, right there, that's gonna fight off a rhythm. Normally he's just on the front foot throwing caution to the wind. Now, if you're throwing 3 reckless punches just to the body, that could by popping him right in the face.
The flurry there from Surace, not much connecting on that one. Find that newfound high frame Canelo-esque D4s, even though he's not yet 30 years of age to his career.
Well, when I watched him at 160 and above, you could see defensive-minded style, if you want to call that this. It's definitely prolonged.
I like Munguia keep going to that body, the left side of Surace. You can take a page away from the biceps, keep digging away at that. Something's bound to open up.
Up Sergio, and as Surace starts to sell out a little more.
But like I said, he's really a 6 to 8 round fighter.
Ok, tu es devant. Comme ça, t'attaques le 9? Non, j'attaque le 10. Ah ouais? Je fais pas carotter. Là, tu es un peu devant. La stamina, c'est là, ok? Bruno, il est... Bruno, t'as 8. On va commencer à faire sévère pour rattraper, ok?
And a Bruno Surace, the rematch. They're shocking tonight, and also set the table for his brand new stablemate.
They see my scorecard, 77 to 75. The activity has picked up as well. Surace just has not been able to land.
Body there from Munguia. Just got out of the way of that one.
Surace came with the left hook, and
you can tell Surace is very wary getting hit to the body. When he gets into that corner.
Surace hasn't quite found the rhythm that we saw him fall into in the early, maybe the pounding that his arms have been taking as well, making him a little bit more weird. Surace trying to step in with an uppercut there.
With an uppercut like that.
Munguia doubling up on that left hook. That left hook up top connected. Body work done, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, Surace did a pretty good job in the first half.
Just grazing the head of Munguia, and that'll do it for round 9.
Bruno, reste quelques rounds. Nous les font tous, Bruno.
Para atrás. Él a lo desesperado te tira la pinche derecha, güey. Muévele la cintura.
You gotta move your waist. He's looking for that right hand. Do not get lazy. And you gotta step back. You gotta step back and look for that uppercut. You lift him up with that uppercut.
The edict in the corner of Munguia continues to be.
I think Surace got a little bit of respect back in that last 2 rounds back to back. If he did win that last round. And there's that sneaky up.
That trainers have made, with Eric Morales, who tried to turn Munguia. Adherence from Munguia to what Eddie Reynoso is telling him and wanted to face him one day. There is a real belief in
Jaime and Munguia. It's one thing to lose to Canelo Alvarez at the highest level. It's if you were more open, more receptive to coaching than you would be in the past.
Not only that, but offensive trainer. Eddie Reynoso's a little bit of both, a response. And I think that's exactly working against him. The higher he got in competition, he needed to extend.
Left hook landing, so does that one. That one really sinks into the midsection.
You can see his right elbow now going lower and lower. He doesn't want to get hit to that body again.
Tries that downward arcing right hand, a little bit too much of a hammer fist. For the last couple of rounds has really been the only idea that Surace has been able.
His knees buck a little bit. It's the 11th round.
Sóbalo, güey, las piernas. Gana los demás.
We got to win these last rounds, and you won the early ones. Wake, alert. I don't need you to bend your back forward. And get out. Tight guard, you understand?
Than one punch. I think the problem is he's finding it difficult to double jab, but the right hand sails over top.
You called it because that's exact guard, and then he comes in with the punches. That's been the difference in this Munguia.
Have been body shots. He has been very effective.
Put his upper body, not as stiff, not catching every shot with it.
Nice right hand there from Munguia. These are eye-catching shots. Earlier in the fight, we talked about Surace's difficulty sometimes moving to his left.
Yeah, and it actually adds to the right hook that Munguia's thrown when opponent a favor.
Munguia comes back with a better one. Finding a little...
When you're throwing body shots to the right side of Bruno Surace, you're making him that...
Assertive and creative. He keeps trying that left hook, though. Every time reason Reynoso didn't want Munguia to just bend down because...
He rips another left hand to the body of Bruno Surace. As these two run it back here in the rematch, you can click on that, you can go back, relive any round or any...
Defensively and counter-punching, you understand? You gotta close this round.
It's funny, Sergio, round after round, Eddie Munguia from his baser instincts, from going back to being the fight. They're talking defense first in that corner.
Yeah, I was about to say, we've seen press those urges to do something fantastic here.
Yeah, that final round, he had down the 12th. I don't believe he needs one in this fight.
Munguia doesn't need to learn the end, move his upper body, and keep his defense tight. That's the reason.
The trunks of Bruno Surace are as high as they could possibly say, Nichols.
Over the top there from Munguia. His right hand got there first. Surace. So there, just 2 shots, stepped out, got out of danger as he comes.
Dog, new tricks because Munguia, this is what I needed to see, the big difference that I'm seeing.
28 years of age, but he's like a Great Dane. He's aged quickly.
Well, takes down this fight. Is Jaime Munguia now back on that Edgar Berlanga, ready for a Caleb Plant. He is an incredibly return to that level.
With this performance, 100%. Absolutely.
Jaime Munguia vanquished the Demons. According to Chris Mannix's scorecard, we believe that is the king. And saying about Bruno Surace before the knockout victory.
I did my job praising what he was trying to do. He won. Anytime he got hit with anything big, he came right back. He showed gut on the championship level because this is a former champion that he's facing, a big former.
Well, Jesse Bam Rodriguez returns to action on July as he takes on the undefeated WBO belt holder, Fulamela. Outthrowing and outlanding Bruno Surace in the 9 for Jaime Munguia. And to the judges, a lot of those sequences.
Punches that he was landing, they weren't all clean shots to the belly or the lip. Beauty of body shots. They don't have to land cleanly to have damage. And
make this one official. So let's send it back up to our MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds, 116 to 112. And both judges round 111, all in favor of your winner by
victory over Bruno Surace, a new look high after fighting those demons since December. Respectable outing. It looks like in just a moment.
Congratulations. Big smile and a fist pump after you heard.
Y aposté al puño al aire. ¿Cómo te sientes después de esta actuación?
Un gran rival enfrente, y pues espero que
in front of us tonight, and I hope that the fans really enjoyed the fight that we put on the ring tonight. Sí, obviamente fue un shock enorme la derrota que tuviste.
Sin duda fue lo más importante, yo creo que, pero la verdad que estamos de vuelta y hay Jaime Munguia para rato.
Mentality, and that's what you need to do after a fight like this. And what we've seen.
Going to Eddie Reynoso, going to Team Canelo, what impact
con Eddie Reynoso y el equipo Canelo, ¿qué impacto tuvo esta noche?
Y pues nos vamos a seguir acoplando, vamos a seguir trabajando, vamos a seguir avanzando.
Happy with the way that we're progressing. I think it's really helped me a great deal to advance.
Like during the fight, Eddie was trying to prevent you from going back to be.
Obviamente parece que Eddie te estaba diciendo que no fueras el boxeador de.
Bueno, yo creo que para esta pelea pues era muy importante, ¿no? El mantener la calma para meter su volado de derecha. En esta ocasión no cometimos el error y muy